Hey everyone. Good evening. Good evening. All right. If you're joining us this evening, we're in our third year here at Gracefully Broken and Blessed and our Go There Third Thursday program. It is so good to have you here. Please check in with us, send us a comment. Let us know that you are joining us because we cannot see who you are unless you send us a comment. So please take a moment to do that. Share us, like us. This is wonderful. And we'll just wait for a few more people to join in before we get started. Awesome. All right, my sister. Yes, you are the first one. All right, make sure you tell somebody, tell your friends. This is going to be fun tonight. All right, remind them. I know we sent out reminders earlier, so we want to make sure that everyone is able to join us. I know in some places it's a little stormy, but hopefully everyone's got electricity and their Wi-Fi is working. So definitely check in, check in. All right. We'll give them another minute to check in with us. All right, so I'm excited because tonight, hi, I'm excited because tonight we have a very special guest. A lot of you, if you've been on my page, you've seen her posts, you've seen her work. She is an up and coming entrepreneur and the owner of Angie Treats LLC. Not only does she bake delicious treats, I've had personally the opportunity to taste some of them, and I tell you, her banana pudding is to die for. Yes, those that know me know I love banana pudding, know I do a good banana pudding, but this one, we was ripping off ripping off the top and eating it in the back of the car. Okay. So it is just fantastic. And she does so much stuff. I'm going to share her Instagram. I want you guys to look her up on Facebook. In addition to being an up and coming entrepreneur, she is also a teacher. She teaches children with autism. And she has a bachelor's degree in psychology and a minor in social work. So when we talk about the theme for this year, get ready to run. This young woman is definitely running. She is running on purpose with a purpose, and I'm so excited to have her. Without further ado, I introduce to you Angelique Parham. Hey, girl.
Hello. Hello,
Welcome,
everyone.
welcome. Yes, I am so excited to have you here. We're just
Yes,
now running
thank
this
you.
theme of young women doing it. I'm loving it. No disrespect to my men. I'm gonna have a man on next month probably,
Yes.
but I just love it. Our anniversary speaker was a young girl, and I tell you, it's just amazing. Wrote her first book. Doing all kind of motivational speaking to help those young women out there in these streets. You guys are doing it, and I think even with what you're doing in baking, we were just talking a minute ago offline about how to use a platform like StreamYard, which is what we're doing right now. Hey,
Yes.
Tanya, which is what we're doing right now, to promote your business, but also, as you said in your bio that we had listed, to create an environment and pull people in and reach out to young women. I mean, that's what it's about. I love it. So please share your story with the audience tonight. They are excited. Look at their comments coming in. Love
Yes.
it. Yeah, that's not for me. That's for you. They see me every month. But they're excited to hear from you tonight.
Yes, thank you. The introduction was so nice. Thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I'm gonna get out the
Uh,
way.
hello, everyone. My name is Angelique. I am the owner of Angie Treats, as she said.
Mhm.
So the stuff that I do is I make cakes, I make treats, I do a little party decor, and I even make t-shirts. And of course, I even know how to spend money. So I know there's a variety of things I do that is all over the place, but I want to learn. I want to do it all. Um,
Wonderful.
but my background, it calls for a lot of patience, time, and passion. So I'm going to give you a
Mhm.
little background about myself and my little side hustle and what I do every day, my 9 to 5 and everything. So about 5 years ago is when I started working. I was working as a customer service manager
Mhm.
and a bookkeeper. I did not think I would want to even bake at all, or I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought working with customers, like, all right, I could work with them, but sometimes I need a break from them also. um, so I would work, and one day I'm like, my mom's birthday was coming up, and it was in May. So I'm like, I could look. I saw a nice cake. I'm like, I could do that cake. So
Mm.
I was just did it that day. So it was like maybe the day before I think I started. And that day brung in the cake. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, that cake is so nice!" It was like a two-tier blue cake, had nice zebra stripes
Wow.
on it. So I learned how to do it from just watching YouTube. So I'm like, this is a great opportunity. Maybe I should just start that. So I started it, and I had to think like, you know what, maybe the customer service field isn't really where I want to be. So
Mhm.
I stayed in the field, of course, but I was also getting my associates at the time. So I said, let me finish school and see what else God will bring to me. So
That must have
I
been
continued
challenging.
it. Yeah, so I continued, and I finished with my associates, but I wanted to go back to school for my bachelor's, but I wasn't ready. So I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for it. I don't know if I'm gonna get another good job. Like, so I was very indecisive about where I wanted to do. So
Mhm.
growing up, it's not. I'm the first person now in my family with a bachelor's. So growing up, I didn't really have as many people around that was, very like
Mhm.
go to school, do this, and be something. It was more so, you get a good job, you work, long as you're making a living for yourself. And I
Right.
didn't want to just stop there. I wanted to be more than just that. So on my free time, I would just start making like cupcakes here and there, birthday parties, like for family functions, I would bake, and
Mhm.
then those bring the customers as well. So they tasting it. Oh, who made these cupcakes? At every gathering, who made this? Who made
I'll
this?
be a taster.
Right.
Anything you got.
So I would just started, just making the little cupcakes, and someone, oh, can you make me these? And can you? So I'm like, let me go on YouTube and find some more videos on how to make some other
Woo,
stuff.
shout out to you too.
Like, thank God for YouTube. So I would just be on YouTube all the time, just watching and watching and
Mhm.
watching. And I just took that time and I just started investing. And I want to
Mhm.
say a year into it, I was getting like a few customers here and there, but then I'm like, I want to go
Mhm.
legit with my business. Like I want to
Ooh,
make this
girl,
bigger
yes.
than what,
Mhm.
just writing a little post or, just word of mouth. I want to be bigger than that. So
Okay.
I had to create, a name for myself. And that's when I created, social media, making Instagram pages, gaining some followers. And then I had to create my logo. And
Mhm.
at that point, I would be walking sometimes and I see people and they're like, Angie Treats. I'm like, yes, like tell everyone.
They recognize it. Aw.
So that's where the name it's weird how the name came about. So everybody was already kind of calling it Angie Treats. So I'm like, that doesn't,
Oh.
sound too bad. So
Mhm.
I just stuck with Angie Treats. Um, and it's weird because growing up, my nickname is Leaky. No one ever called me Angie until I started working at my first job at McDonald's. And ever since Angie came about, so everybody's like Angie, Angie. So I'm like, all right, I'll stick to Angie Treats because that's what everyone was knowing
Mhm.
me as. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I created a name, created the logo, and then just start building rapport with people. You have
Mhm.
to build that relationship. So you want people to keep coming again. You want them to keep ordering. You
Right.
just want them to tell other people about your stuff. So at first, I was a little like nervous, but I had to come out my
Mhm.
comfort zone. Definitely.
Right.
My comfort zone was more like, oh, I just want to be working at the supermarket. I don't want to really go out and make myself bigger. I'm comfortable where I was. But I saw that it was more to just that. And it was more services I was also providing to other people. So when I got my associates, that's when I started working with kids with autism. And I'm like, hold on, I had to put a break on baking. I'm like, I kind of like this also. And I
Okay.
never thought I would ever work with kids because I used to work with adults with disabilities. So I'm
Mhm.
like, I kind of like the kids more a little bit. So I was working with the kids, and I think I
Mhm.
fell in love like working with kids with autism. I'm like, those are my babies. So
Mhm.
I'm like, which way, like, how can I bake, but I want to, work with kids? So I'm like, I'm going back to school. So that's when I did decide to go back to school about 2 years ago. And I was like, I want to go to school. But then that's when my business was really getting a little bigger. So now I'm getting
Ah,
customers. I'm like, I got to balance work, I got to balance school, and I have
cool.
to
Yep.
balance baking. So it was
Yep.
more so me being like motivated, where if you want this, you have to go for it. Don't wait anymore.
Mhm.
Because I already took a
Mhm.
break from school for about 3, 4 years. And I was like, I can't take anymore. I'm getting older. No more breaks. You have to just
Right.
do. So
Okay.
I did it, and now I can say like I'm a teacher now, and I love the kids and I love baking, and I've just find the time, to do everything.
Mhm.
It's just having the drive and motivation, and
Mhm.
it's when you want something, you really just have to go for it. Don't
Go
hesitate,
for it.
because I hesitated, even though it's coming along now. But when you hesitate, it takes a longer time to plan out things. But when you go for something, it's just go
Mhm.
with your gut feeling. So when I became a
Awesome.
teacher not too long ago, I became a teacher this February, and it was right before my birthday. I was a teacher's assistant, and they asked me like, would I be able to take the position, and I was like, yes. Like,
Okay.
so it worked out
Congratulations.
so.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So once I graduated in December, and I became a teacher in February, and it was like everything's working. Like God is listening to me. Like He hears
Yes.
me
It's all
saying, "I'm
working
moving
together
forward.
for the
I'm going."
good. Yes.
So I've been trying to stay focused. So now I'm balancing, being a teacher and baking. But with the baking, it's the best thing I think I went for. And
Okay.
I built so many relationships with people, even with you. Thank you.
You see the comments, right? They're like, that's right. Go for it, girl. Do it. Do it. Do
um,
it.
so yeah, like I built so many relationships with people, and I'm very happy like opportunities I got to do with baking and helping
Mm-hmm.
people with just anything, even if it's my
Right.
little talks I have with people, little advice I have, anything. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, like before, I'm the person I want to change lives. Like I working with kids with autism, I love to change it. I like to see them progress. I love it. So I
Yeah.
want to also see that in everyone. So I'm always here. I'm always giving advice, always having time, and sharing my thoughts and feelings to make someone just feel very comfortable, open, and just having that positive environment. And
That is
even with like
beautiful.
dealing with relationships, it's a lot when you want to run a business and people like you don't have time for me, or so you really have to
Yeah.
be really focused, and you count your days, but you become very stronger in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And Angie Treats really helped me. It's like times you don't feel like you're motivated and you don't know what to do, but then you find something you like, and that's what I did. I found something that I like doing, and I went for it, and it made me a better person overall. So the past
Mm-hmm.
5 years, but the last two I've been taking it more serious and getting more legit and finding other
Mm-hmm.
resources. So it's like a process that comes with it, but you can't lose,
Right.
faith and hope through the process. You have to just
Right.
stay focused.
Gotta stay focused. Yep.
Yes.
And yes, Robin, boundaries are good. Robin Sabata
Yes.
is my partner in crime with that banana pudding. Her and Shannon. It was
Hello.
she's the one. Yeah. She's the one I was bringing it back to when I found those little shooters. And I was like, what is this? And before you knew it, we was just back there. We weren't even talking anymore. We were just eating. I was like, this is supposed to be a tasting. Look at us. It's terrible.
Yes. I think the banana pudding is one of
I'm
the
proud of
big
you.
ones. Yes,
Yay.
thank
Let me put
you.
up her comment. Absolutely. Show my girl some love.
Yes.
It's people, we haven't known each other for a long time or anything like that. And I often tell people one thing about this platform is, when God makes that connection, because immediately when I saw you, saw the happiness on my face. I mean, I didn't know you had banana pudding shooters in the bag. I was just happy to see this young, talented woman of God, doing it. And I'm just like, she's hand delivering, she's got her stuff together. And, starting out in the business that I have, which is wedding and event planning many years ago, I know I needed to see people like myself and to be motivated doing it. And so I was like, oh my gosh, she is so awesome. And then, tasting the products and everything was so delicious. I was like, I would love for her to share her journey, to talk. I don't know if my goddaughter is on here tonight, but I know I did remind her about it because she wants to bake. And I think it's so important for people to understand, yeah, there's going to be bumps in the road. But if you stay committed and you have a good support team, who was your support? Was it mom? Was it auntie? Because auntie's on here tonight. Was it friends? I mean, we already know you have folk that you could bake for that would surely tell you this is absolutely wonderful, or add more cream here or something like that. But in those moments where, the phone wasn't ringing or people weren't on your Instagram, how did you stay motivated through those points to continue doing what you're doing?
My family, most definitely. I felt like my family was my bigger supporters throughout this whole journey. It sounds like I don't want to do it anymore. They're like, no, yes, you are. I'm like, no, I don't want. I want to do something else. But they like, no, like you can't just stop. Like, no. They also love the banana pudding. Like, no, we want some banana pudding. And I also, when I started the strawberry banana pudding, I definitely couldn't give up on that one.
What? Okay.
Yes,
Robin, take note. It comes in strawberry.
But most definitely my family. And they were supporting me through the whole way. And they were the first ones who started putting my name out there also. So I do give credit to my family because they helped me a long way. They're like, oh no, I want you to do this. I have somebody that wants to do a party. Let me ask them if you can do a cake for them. Or let me see if they want this. And I appreciate them. And they did it. And when it's times where it's slow, I'm like, it's okay, because that next week or next month or next 60 days, it was I was busy.
Right. And that's what's so wonderful about what you do. Like for me, I do weddings and events because I realize, okay, once you get married and we've gone through the 9 months of planning, the wedding happens. Then what? Right? Yeah. So it's like you got to have other things that you do as well. So I'll do the wedding, I'll come back and I'll do the baby shower, I'll come back and I'll do the mom's 50th birthday. Like a lot of my clients are repeat clients because I've been a part of their journey. Or I have one young lady, I did her wedding last year. She was the maid of honor in another client's wedding 9 years ago.
Wow.
So 9 years later, she remembered me, immediately signed on, had me sign on and to become part of the dream team. And I'm just like, wow, that speaks volumes to what you do. So, with you, again, like you said, it may seem slow for a minute, but it's going to pick back up because there's always a need for cupcakes and cake and pie and all that kind of stuff. People are celebrating something, even on a small scale. So now here's a big question I'm sure someone's going to have, and you guys get ready with your questions. I'm looking at all this love and thank you. Please let us know if you have questions. We don't want to leave here without answering some questions tonight. My biggest question is, or my biggest thing was, when I was starting out, I was literally like a one-woman show. Like people, I had a brand, I had a name, I had the logo, which is different than what I have now because you progress and you get better and better. And now I've got my little cards and I love my little cards. And, I keep all that stuff. It didn't start out looking like that. It was just card.
Right.
And a website and the whole nine. But at the end of the day, I was Kairos. And so my whole thing was I was scared. Well, what if I woke up one morning and it was someone's wedding and I didn't feel well? What if, it was 200 people at the wedding and I couldn't be everywhere and it wasn't enough? And so literally I began thinking about like, okay, how do I expand this in terms of creating mini-me's or, getting extra hands on deck for the day of. So I literally, my best friend, Debbie, signed on and we prayed about it. And we were like, glued together. So I knew she had my back. But there were still things that I had to take care of, that I knew what to do because God had given me the vision and she was just helping out. And so one of the things along the journey that God did is he began to tell me how to expand so that I would have more help. So I started teaching wedding and event planning. And it started with a workshop. I did a workshop, a 3-hour workshop every year called So You Want to Be a Wedding Planner. And I would invite different ones, right? So, because, every little girl is running around, oh, I want to be a wedding planner, Child.
Right.
Okay. You have no idea. I'm like, it is so much more than pretty favors and fluffy dresses. So much more, and with us, because, I also knew that, my business was part ministry. So that was very important. Like I heard you say, you talk to people. So you're not just making these cupcakes and dropping them off. There's conversation involved. When people hear the name Kairos, if they're not, in the church world or they're not familiar, they'll ask me, what does that mean? Oh, yes. Well, that is God's divine time. And let me tell you about my Jesus. It opens up that door for conversation, and so, so I started teaching it. And to date, we have, I've had at least 30 interns that has taken the program. It started with the workshop. It grew into an internship. And so you literally go from the internship to mentorship after they complete the internship. They kind of follow me to apprenticeship. Now I've got a whole group of folk that in order for them, in order for me to get their help, I got to pay them. It ain't free no more.
Right.
Internship, they paid me.
Right.
Mentorship, they followed me. And apprenticeship, I pay them because they are worth it, because they've gone through the process and they know what they're doing. So much so that one of my supervisors had a bat mitzvah, for his daughter 2 years ago, right before the pandemic hit. And this was going to be huge. I could not do it because he was my supervisor at my day job. So that was a no. That was all kind of red flags for compliance. Absolutely not. And I was able to take one of my senior consultants and entrust in her my boss and my boss's daughter. And when I went to the house, because I was undergirding her and following along, but she was hands-on. And I remember us going to the house, and then I'll take some of the questions, going to the house and sitting at the table, which I've done before, because I actually did his son's bat mitzvah. So I did that for him, a bar mitzvah for him. And at that time, he wasn't my direct boss. And I'm watching this little girl, his daughter, hugging all over my consultant. Ooh, and I'm just like, well, look at this. I didn't get all this love. Like, I'm feeling it away right now, as the young people say, all in my feelings. I was all in my feelings. Then the night of the event, girlfriend had her team, knocked it out the park. I was like, okay, we're not calling you no more. No, I'm teasing. I could not have been more happy, more proud. She was phenomenal. And that, so I say that to say, I'm sure there are some things on the horizon for you. People are saying, look, we've got a wonderful, this is my girl. This is one of my clients too, Gwen. She wants to know if you make vegan desserts. How about that?
Actually, I wasn't before, but at the end of last month, I want to say, I did a taste testing. I made a vegan cake and I made it with oat milk because I know a lot of people can't drink almond milk, so I made it with oat milk.
Right.
And then I did make a cake, a vegan cake. So yeah, I make vegan cakes. I will expand it more. It's coming, but for right
Okay.
now, yes, cupcakes and the cake. Yes, I do make that,
Okay.
but with oat
Excellent.
milk.
You
I'm
talk
safe to make it with oat milk.
oatmeal. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. I will definitely put Gwen in contact with you. Here's another shout out for some love.
Oh, that's my sister.
There. Okay. Okay. Excellent. Somebody said I need a strawberry shot for next month.
Yes.
That is Robin. Yes, yes, yes. Keep those questions coming. Okay. So I was saying, how do you see Angie Treats expanding or you expanding? Creating the mini me's, as you will, like what happens, because life happens. If you cannot make a cake, what do you do? Or you promise to do cupcakes for an event, the oven breaks, because I'm assuming you're doing this from home.
Yes.
The oven, the electricity goes off. We were just talking about that in Long Island.
Yes.
The electricity sometimes goes out, and well, how do you handle that? Or do you have colleagues or other people that you work with? God forbid, if you couldn't handle it, they could kick in or something like that. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes. Well, I haven't trained anyone yet baking, but they do know how to
Okay.
bag some stuff up with those cake pops and treats.
Okay.
um,
Okay.
but I do. If times it was a time where my oven wasn't working here.
Mm,
I had to write my cousins. They're available. Thank God. I have family that live in New York, in all different parts of Long Island.
okay.
That's close enough.
Good. Good. Good.
So I
Right.
had to drive there to their house and had to travel with everything and bake at their house.
See,
And this,
it's
yes,
real.
and there's times where I had to even work and I had to call my aunt and my sister, like, hey, I need you to do this. And I had to teach them over the phone how to do certain stuff
See,
I needed to get done. So by the time I get off, I can make the delivery and finish the other
right.
cupcakes. So there's times where I had so many orders in one day, it was so overwhelming. And I have those days. I'm sure everyone does. It gets very
Mhm.
overwhelming, and sometimes you just freeze. Like, what am I to do next? And I
Right.
have those days all
And
the time. And with the
wow,
backup of
wow.
family and they're helping me, I'm like, hey, can you just help me, please? I'll give you some money or whatever. I'll pay you to help and whatever the case is.
Hmm.
But I just need some help. So yes,
Right,
I'm grateful
right.
that I do have that support where if anything was to happen, I do have a backup. If anything
Okay.
happens and I can call on someone.
Okay, yeah, because that's
Yeah.
important because life happens. I
Yes.
can say in the 18 years that we've been doing this as an LLC as well. Knock on wood, I had one time that I was sick, and it wasn't even that I was sick at the event. It was a wedding in Brooklyn. I got sick right after. Like I could felt
Mm.
myself getting sick during the wedding, so I was fine for the wedding. But once it was over, I was really, really sick. And I was sick for a long time, like almost a month with a cold. It was
Wow.
a really bad cold. But I often, think about that. And so that's why I started teaching,
Mhm.
this, because I know that I can pull, like I'm working on a wedding now for August, and I can pull one of my interns in, be there for the wrap up meeting, be there, go on the drive and look at the contracts. They've been trained to
Mm.
know what to look for and how to read the contract and stuff like that so that they can jump in. So it's not, again, just a set of hands, it's training that they know
Right.
what to look for and how to operate. So God forbid, I'm running late or something happens and I need to take care of my mom or something, they could jump in and then I
Mhm.
can pick it up when I get there or something like that. So that's really important. Another thing, how did you decide, in terms of, and this probably speaks more to kind of what's out there, what things sell for. I'm sure you did your homework, pricing and stuff like that, and right now the big thing is gas. So now
Yes,
everybody's got delivery.
delivery.
I never had delivery before, but now I have like a gas transportation because if I'm driving back and forth to the city and I'm all the way out in Suffolk County now, oh, you better believe
Yes,
that $5 a pop. Yeah, somebody
yes.
gonna pay for that gas. So yeah, how did you manage and think about those things, putting together a contract, stuff like that?
Yeah, so when people place orders, I do have show them a contract or a policy, an Angie Treats policy, where I do
Hmm.
show that pricing. One thing I had to learn: know your worth, because
Oh,
I
girl,
think when I first
when are we gonna
started,
put that in a banner? I'm sorry.
but
You
when I
keep
first
talking.
started, I was giving prices where I was putting out more than I was getting in, and I'm like, no,
There you
people
go.
are not going to want to pay if it's this price, and I couldn't have that mindset anymore. So I had to put it to
Hmm.
a price where I know I'm making something and it's not too overpriced, it's affordable, but I couldn't sell myself short. So
Right.
that came with prices. And then gas, I mean, recently because of gas, so I just had to do a delivery out east and it's over 30 minutes away. And usually you have a set price of what you want to charge for, but the way gases are, then you have to use your air condition. It's
Yep.
gonna cost a little more than what it usually does. But it's
Right.
also optional. You can also pick up.
Pick it up.
So
Right. Pick it up. Yeah.
so if it
I
has
know
to
my
be
sister
delivered,
was.
you're gonna pay.
Yes, yes. She knows. My sister was the first one that joined on. I don't know if she's still on here, but um, for all her parties, her graduation party and some other parties, I became the transport for the cake. I ain't gonna tell you what the cakes looked like when I got them where we needed to go. So the rule now is I transport no cakes. I don't care if it's a
Yes.
little box of cupcakes. You must bring them. That's why
Right.
you came and met me at Philomena.
Yeah, a lot of people, yes, they don't
I'm
trust it in the
scared to
car
death.
turning.
Mhm.
The cake
Yeah,
might go this way.
yeah, right. And I'm driving
Right.
super slow and everything. She had a beautiful, I don't even remember what birthday it was, but I paid for her to have a Louis Vuitton cake. Girl, when we got it to where it was going, it looked like somebody sat a TV on it. I said, oh, oh, never again. Never
Yeah.
again. So yeah, no, folks will we will pay the extra and have you bring it. We want it to look
Right.
amazing,
You want it to, yeah,
So
you
that's
want
very
it to be
important. Yes,
in its
yes,
natural
yes,
state.
yes. Yeah, yeah. And also this way, in case something does happen, you probably have a little toolkit with some frosting
Could
and this
fix
and
it.
that. You can
Hmm.
fix it on the spot. I
Right.
wouldn't know what to do.
Right.
It's just got to be that way, and we just stick a little, something in it. And, it was just
Yes.
a hot
That
mess. So
that actually happened
yeah.
to me. I had to deliver to Brooklyn, and I tell you, that day was like the hottest day in the summer. And the cake was like, I had the AC still blasting, and the cake was like melting almost. And I'm
Mm,
like, oh my goodness. So you have to, I had to
right,
make sure I had everything so I could fix it, when
right.
I got there.
To
And it
fix
was
it.
fine, but that was like I was in traffic and everything.
Mm. So for everyone out there, just kind of wrapping everything up, again, our theme is about perseverance and running with this gift, and each month I've had different speakers on. If you had to speak to our audience, particularly even young women, I heard you say so many times tonight, don't give up, like, keep going, even when it gets rough and stuff like that. Build that support system. Anything else you would want to share or leave with them, that you have found in your 5 years, your tender 5 years of doing this, that you wish, someone has shared with you when you began?
Um, I did write a little something. More
Okay.
so, I think if you want to do a business, be bigger than what you think you want it to be, for sure. And if you want to grow and expand, come up with ideas and just write everything down. It could be the littlest tedious detail. Just write everything down because you don't know where that little detail can take you. Um, and manifesting your dreams, and you want to be someone, do something. So I'm really big on that also, and just having a vision and just run with your vision, and don't let anyone tell you that it's impossible. You want to do the impossible.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
good. You want to do the impossible. That
Yes.
goes a long way. That definitely goes a long way. And I'm sure that's also as you're dealing with the young people, the children, and
Yes.
you look at them and say, listen, no limits, no limits. We all know what you're up against, but you still can be everything that God wants you to be,
Right.
so that
Definitely.
is wonderful. Awesome. Well, I don't see any other questions. I see a lot of love and a lot of comments. And like I said, my vegan girl, Gwen, definitely have to put, she will try it as long as it's vegan. She will try. She will tell you.
Yes.
And for her birthday, we celebrated a few years back. Her cake was like a wedding cake. It was a wedding cake, except that we had it color coordinated. It was gorgeous, but she could not have that cake.
Oh,
She had a small vegan cake
the
for
vegan.
herself. And everybody else enjoyed this amazing cake. Like I can show you pictures. It like 10 tears. It's like
Oh,
beautiful.
wow.
But she had her own little vegan cake. She said, yes, I will. She will definitely be in contact. Yeah, because it's important, and that's what this program is about. It's about building or bridging, I should say, resources, people, and
Yes.
resources, tried and true. So I can't thank you enough. I'm going to join you back on the screen, ta-da, and just thank everyone for joining us on tonight. I hope that you were inspired by something that was said, because I know some of you on here have big dreams. And if you look at it and think that, I can't tackle all of this, you don't have to go it all at one time. Just start chipping away. Like she said, write it out and just do a little bit at a time and keep going. I did the same thing. I was just like, I tell my family, listen, I can't do everything, go every place, because I am Kairos, and until I expand or, God sends help, I can't do it. I have to, I'm getting paid for a service. So I have to provide that service and I can't put it off,
Right.
and now, working the day job 23 years, doing Kairos, doing ministry, I've learned the balance, but it doesn't happen overnight. So I think and
Mhm.
praise God for you staying committed and staying
Yes.
faithful. And certainly, you got a customer here. Robin and I buy everything just by ourselves. And now we'll pump Gwen in. All right.
Yes.
So again, everyone, thank you so much. Thank you for showing Angelique love, or Angie.
Thank you.
Please go to her Instagram page, follow her. Look out for some of the things that she'll be posting. They'll be on my page as well, but definitely follow her on Instagram and Facebook. All right. Much love
Yes.
to everyone, and we will see you next third Thursday. God
Yes.
bless everyone and have a great
Good
night.
night, everyone.